it's Ray Ray back again with another voiceover from the closet. So one thing that I always really like about urban sketching is that you can literally just go to any random street that you have and sketch what is in front of you and then color it with whatever colors you have. But you know, with things how they are lately and travel not really being accessible to me, what I like to do for things like this is I like to go to Google Maps or sometimes just like some kind of equivalent that will give me a random street view of anywhere in the world, and I will sketch it. So this particular reference is from some random street in Italy. And this one I figured I would work on my perspective a little. So what I was trying to go for was 1 point, or right? No, yes. Okay, so what I was trying to figure out or learn in this case was 1 point perspective. It's not something I am at all familiar with. I understand the concepts, but I don't have a lot of like practice in it, so it's not something that just comes naturally. But I was very excited to try at the very least. One thing I also like about the perspectives is that as long as you have a horizon line, any point that you have, like as long as it's 1 or 2 point, can be anywhere on those lines. Obviously for 3 point you have like a third point that's like that all of them form a triangle, and the third point can be either as far above or below the 2 points on the horizontal line, wherever they want to go in order for whatever perspective that you want. But I figured since I am starting with perspective, I should start with 1. That's also like a really common thing I see when it comes to urban sketching is 1 point perspective, like just down a street where it narrows to a point, or just anything, as long as there's your eye is being moved towards a singular point out in the horizon, and you can kind of understand where the horizon line is. And if you don't know what horizon line is, it's this your eye line to whatever the painting is. And a very common example that's always used is like when you look out into the ocean and you see the sun setting. Wherever you see that sun setting on that ocean line out in the far distance, that is your eye line. And no matter where you see that sun setting in the ocean, whether it is on the beach, off of a cliff, up in an airplane, you will always see that sun setting on that ocean line, and that is your horizon line. I guess that makes more sense using that example and then using the horizon line instead of eye line. My personal horizon line in here is exactly where the 2 cars in the middle of this picture meet, and that is my 1 point perspective. I want everything to sort of fall into that point, so it's not directly in the middle, but it's a little off kilter, just so you know. It's I don't know, so you have to like work to look to where everything is. I'm not entirely sure if I did the 1 point perspective correctly though, because I was really working more with making sure the reference and the picture itself correlate, maybe not like match 1 for 1, but like you can tell it's a reference for this picture. So maybe 1 point didn't really get it all that right, especially since I was working with a random street view with like a 360 camera. 360 doesn't necessarily do 1 point perspective, but it's something I'm still going to work on. As you can kind of tell, I don't have any like bullet points or like a checklist of things to talk about in this video, and I don't really know what else to talk about. Like, while I'm doing this, I don't really have a lot going on in my life. Mostly just trying to balance this channel with my other channel. I keep falling behind on videos that I want to make, and it's getting to a point where I have to figure out if I even still want to do it, or if it's just too much for my plate right now, and I can do it maybe later when I have the time and or more time in my schedule. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the art channel itself. It's more of my gaming channel. It's really not as much of a gaming channel. It's really like gaming and popular media sort of channel that I think. Yeah. And then it's my game design. That's where I put all my game design stuff. This has nothing to do with the art. I just like to ramble and tell you guys how my day goes and what I think about in the time. I don't know, it just makes me feel like you are getting to know me and I get to practice talking about myself. It's not something I'm particularly skilled in. So back to my painting and my other ramblings. Now that I'm done with the sketch and I'm doing the inking, for those who don't know, I really do like my outlines rather than just be black, like most urban sketches. I like colorful outlines, but there was really more color in this than the pens that I had. For my micron pens, they're really more primary colors. Well, not primaries, but they're not blendable. I have one blue, one green, one red, one pink, one purple, a brown, a black, things like that. So while I normally think that's fine, I feel like the colors would have made it stand out too much. So I just went with a simple black for the outlines and then a brown outline for the trees, because I have to contradict myself all the time. So there is some color, but it's with the trees and with nature, so it fits. I was actually really proud of myself after all of this was done. Once the reveal and everything goes on, it'll kind of make sense. I'm actually not sure what else to talk about, but I was very proud of myself. I was trying to it's hard for me to have a dial for how much detail I want. I either put no detail or all detail instead of dialing it up or down as I need to. So it was really hard for me to just choose one, because I know in real time, I know this is super speed up. In real time, when it came to this, I was focusing so much on which way the tree branches were going, or how many lines needed to be on the railings for some of these sliding glass doors and other things like that. And I realized I was I'm just making it too hard for myself. I actually used 2 days to think about this so I wouldn't have to feel I was being rushed. And I think having that time to think and then come back with fresh eyes and stare at it and figure, well, okay, this would work, really helps. Especially when I'm trying to plan things out. I have nothing else. I don't know what else to say. I'm just staring at myself drawing, which is weird for me. I love watching other people paint and draw and everything, and I love to learn about the sketching process and looking back on this with you guys, because that's what I'm doing when I'm doing the voiceovers. I'm watching myself paint and sketch and everything with you guys while I'm doing the voiceovers, so I can figure out what I want to say in certain moments. It'll be a little visual cue for me, be oh yeah, I was thinking about this at this time, I can talk about that. But no, I was mostly at this time, I was just am I focusing too much on the details? What do I why is there's a crick in my neck and everything? Just, I can't look back right now and think, oh, I could have done this better. While that is a good and bad thing to do with your artwork sometimes, I would like to believe I am not very critical, or not too critical of myself, which I had a habit of doing before. Most of anything, I have a bad habit of critiquing myself more harshly than I would others. And I think that's bad. Okay, you can't do that for yourself. And like, you have to be fair to yourself. Like, I'm not going to say, well, I'm the greatest beginner sketch artist, urban sketch artist, whatever, but I can't say, well, no, I'm the worst. Like, there are things, obviously, I'm improving on. Like, I'm just getting into urban sketching. It's been like a month or two or so. Watercolor itself, I've only been at for like officially like deciding I wanted to do watercolor for like a year, a little over a year. And like, obviously there are improvements that I see myself doing, and obviously because I consume so much art media, there are things that I can see, if I were to compare, don't measure up all the way. But you know, doesn't mean I'm not getting better. That doesn't mean like, you know, I'm the worst at it ever and I should just stop. This is something I enjoy doing, and it's something I would like to keep doing. So it wouldn't be fair to me to absolutely devastate my own dreams when I've made the decision that this is what I want to do with my life. Like, this is how I make sense of my own mind and world around me. So to critique that and say that it's the worst ever would be doing me a disservice, and honestly, it's like really mean. Like, why do I need to be mean to myself that much? It's not healthy. I am rambling. I do that. But you know what? I guess it's a good life lesson. Don't beat yourself up over things because you enjoy them, or because, you know, others are beating you up for something you enjoy. That's just wrong. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, why? Or like yourself. Don't hurt yourself or anybody else. That's like mean. I care about you. I don't know who you are, but like, I care if whether you are here or not in this. Excuse me, I had taquitos. I care about whether you're here or not in this world, and like, don't be mean to yourself. Like, would you be mean to a puppy? No. Are we all puppies? No. Some of us are koalas. Some of us are sloths. Some of us are like kittens. And like, would you be mean to any of them? No. What makes you any different than a koala? Besides, you know, anatomy. You don't know a koala doesn't have a conscience? That's the word. So, like, be nice. I have no idea where that came from. I really don't have anything else to add. I'm also seeing that I am almost done with this. When it came to all of the water, like, coloring of this painting, I just realized now that I only used one brush for the entire thing, and it was the biggest brush I had besides, you know, the wash brush that like put water everywhere. So I'm really proud of myself that I got like small details with this giant size 10 brush. But also, this was the first time I was really working in like good layering. Like, glazing is a technique I'm not really like used to doing, but it felt just so natural to do with this particular process, especially when I start doing the grass, which will be on the far left side. Anything like green, you'll see a lot of like what is called a glazing technique, where you will put down color or like a block of color somewhere. Especially for watercolor, you will have to let it dry like almost completely at that point, and then you will wash it over with a different color or like another layer of that color to get it to like saturate. What I did in this particular instance is I did more of like actual like grassy warm colors first, because that's how you associate grass, and then I put a layer of a desaturated green over that to go along with like the cloudy sky that the picture gave me. And now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't do, well, okay, right now, I don't really see that much with, like, the yellow building that's on the far right. That's most of the right, actually. But you'll see, like, later in the trees, I give them, like, shadows. They kind of, now that I think about it, those shadows are a little harder than they need to be for, like, a cloudy day. But, like, light still happens in, like, on cloudy days. There are light cloudy days and dark cloudy days, so it doesn't matter too much. But I was proud of myself for this painting and the layering of color, which I usually don't have the patience for. It was a nice change of pace, and I think it really helped that I was planning out my coloring, my compositions and stuff like that. Having that palette of colors that I made beforehand and then mixing them as I needed to. Like sometimes I would mix the green with the brown, and sometimes I would mix the blue with the brown to get like a dark black shade that you see over the far building to the left. It was just, I liked it. So I'm gonna stop talking now, and I'm just gonna let you guys know, if you like this video, please let me know down in the comments below. I do watercolor for this channel and a lot of other things, so I'll see you guys later, and have a good day.